up? Welcome in everybody to another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show off by being transparent. And then yesterday, we had a best bet winner on the show, a fairly easy winner on the Jazz team total under. But overall, for myself, it was a losing day. It was 3-4, so still not good. Kind of in a cold streak. Maybe have to do things a little bit differently for the time being. But we'll figure it out. The other games that I ended up playing that were winners, at least the Heat Pacers over was a winner, and Knicks team total over was a winner. I lost on the Nets, lost on the Bucks, lost on the Lakers under, and lost on the Hornets team total under. So did a little bit too much yesterday, and a lot of these were late ads. So maybe you have to cut out too many of the late ads. Um, but another day to get at it, and 5 games, I believe 5 games, no, 6 games on the slate for us to choose from. So let's get to it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Nathan says he's first again. Hello, Miss Tasha. EJ in the house. Gilbert. The Nets. Maybe we didn't count on Cam Thomas being poor defensively over there with him coming back. That was surprising for the Nets to lose outright with nobody for the Hornets. And he also says Cavaliers are a joke. Yeah, I talked about that game yesterday, and I was disappointed with myself because I leaned towards the Blazers and the under. Didn't get there with either. Didn't even write them on my short list. So I got to get better at I got to do better than that. Anthony, appreciate you tapping in. All right, let's get to it. We got 6 games. This won't be a very long show. One college game. I'm not going to talk that long about it, but y'all see the shirt? Y'all know when you see this shirt what time it is. Houston at Xavier. If if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We riding with the first half for the Cougars -4.5. If you want to look at some stats for Xavier, I just shout out to my boy Chris. He's the one who brought it to me, but or shared it so I could see it. But Xavier last year versus top 10 teams, they're down by an average, I think, of 7 at the half. So I think Houston will continue to get in and get out, and it's cast every game except for one. So 6-1, I believe, in the first half for Houston. We'll continue to ride it again today. Avery knows what's up. Says first half. D Trip says like the under 2. Yeah, I did think about the under. That's how I see Houston covering the game or winning by the margin. For me, is definitely in the defense. I'm not sure what WTW means. Let me know. But we'll get to what up, Dutch boy. Appreciate you tapping in. We missed you yesterday on the show, but I did see you've been throwing out some winners out there. So hopefully, you can keep that going. Stay hot, brother. Isaiah, hello. I definitely remember Isaiah. And Dutch boy says he likes the Raptors today. So we'll get to that. But nice to know he's on the Raps today. And I see that line on the move. It's already up to 2.5. So might want to get on it right now if you like them. All right, let's get to it. First game up, we'll go 5-19, 5-20 Washington Wizards heading into Orlando to take on the Magic. Game open Magic -11. Hasn't really moved. Total open 237. Hasn't really moved, but I do see some 237 and a half. I think that's more the consensus number now. As far as the injury report for the Wizards, same 2 guys, Rollins and DeLon Wright out. For Orlando now, though, a lot of people on this injury report. Banchero's on there, but he's likely. Howard game time, Jonathan Isaac game time. They'll continue to be without Wendell Carter Jr., Markelle Fultz, and Harris as well. These teams did just play. Orlando handled business. Orlando has won, 8 in a row? Orlando is also in the front of a back-to-back. I did have a system that populated, and it's nothing crazy. It's about, 59% or so towards the over. But it's double-digit favorites on the front end of a back-to-back. It's pretty much saying that they don't care a whole lot about defense in that game. They don't really respect their opponent is how I view it. 72, 52, and 6. I think that goes back a few years, maybe like 4 or 5 years. And so I think that's the case for Orlando here. You look at both teams, top 10 in pace the last 5 games. Orlando, number two offensive rated team in the same 5 games, 5 game span, and Washington 13th. Washington bottom five defense. Both teams, well, Washington bottom 10 defending the three. Neither team great shooting it, but I do think it will be an up tempo game, and I don't think Orlando cares as much to play the good defense that we know they're capable of. I did have another system that we talked about on here before, and it's teams playing within a week. I look at home favorites playing within a week, and the total is greater than their previous total greater than the opponent's previous total. 63.5%, 33 and 19 to the over. That is only since the 22 season. Not that big of a sample size, but it's what we've been seeing lately. So I'm looking towards this game to go over. That's the only way I think I would play it. Not quite sure why it's standing still, but either the over, Magic team total over, those would be the ways that I look. So I told you the mistake I made yesterday, not writing games on my short list. I'm gonna write it here today, and we'll see what you guys think in the chat. Luis Martinez also liking those Raptors though. What up, C Boogie? We're trying to figure out what WTW is, wire to wire. Gilbert likes the Magic team total over. Oh, what the word? Oh, I've never heard that one. I guess that's a new one for me. Isaiah also likes the Magic team total. I get it. I mean, it makes sense to me. Um, but do we think it's only the Magic who score today? I mean, they do play again tomorrow. Do they really care to play defense here? Wizards, we know we trust their offense a lot more than the defense, and the pace will be there. So why can't we? I mean, we trust. We think the Magic are going to play defense today. That's what we're saying with that team total. I think both teams can contribute here. Antonio, oh, what up, brother? I remember you said, "What up, Ski?" I met you at the meet and greet. He likes Ben Carroll assist over. Don't even think about it. All right, I'm gonna mark that on my list too. Put assist next to his name. And yeah, it was great meeting and hanging with you when we did the meet and greet. I think that wasn't last year, but the year before. So hope all is well with you, Antonio. Rich homie says, would y'all handicap games where one team isn't competing in the tourney, but is facing a team that is? Yeah, I think that is incorporated into the lines. That's a good point. I do think the teams care about the tournament now that they're going to be closer to getting that money. It's a single elimination, so they do know they have those games coming up. I do think Orlando can potentially punt today or tomorrow. I do think that's a good point. We should be considering it for teams that are going to be competing in the tourney. I agree. D Trip says Magic first half. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't have the ATS numbers, but we can look at first half margin here. And first half margin, Orlando is number two at plus 8.6. The Wizards, number 23, minus 3.2. And with the Magic on the front end of a back to back, if we're going to expect them to do anything in this game, I think we expect them to do it out from the jump. So I would agree with that. Even though I don't view the Magic as a minus 6.5 first half team, I will put it there. It's been too good to ignore. First half minus 6.5, and then don't really care too much about the rest of the game. So let's go back here to the comments. I agree with this too, though. He says they're starting to price me out of Orlando first half, like 6.5. I just said I don't view them as that kind of a team, but the Wizards have been pretty poor. Season, I know they're bottom defensive and rebounding team, but last 5 game stats, bottom 5 in both categories. It's the only way I'd play it, is what I'm saying. But I do agree they're starting to, I mean, that price is getting hefty. Foul Mastery Gaming says Scott Foster alert. I don't think he really cares about any of these players in these 2 games, at least not to my knowledge. But it always, I care about Scott Foster more in the playoffs. That makes me think that it's going to be like some janky stuff in the game. But I don't think it's too much to worry about if he's referencing Orlando and Washington. Gilbert likes Wagner over his rebounds. You talking about friends? Jamal says Wizards cover today. Magic look ahead to Nets tomorrow, who cooked them by 20 last meeting. Another reason why the Magic might not care about playing defense today. Mario asking if we're keeping it going on that first half. What up, Chris? Says let's cash today. Appreciate you tapping in. And this, okay, see, not this is if you know, you know over. Okay, this is what they're calling it. Because he played it at 2:37.5 this morning. So I'm guessing because it's similar with the 7 days, that's what we're calling it now. Last time I was a little confused, but I have it populated for me too, and I do agree that's the way to go in this game with the over. I think both can contribute. Tyler likes Bankero over 20.5 points. Cooper says Kuzma usually goes off on their big dogs. See, yeah, Chris says run that like up for our boy. Yeah, if you like the information or you like the show, whatever, if you want to help out the show, it helps me out if you could hit that like button for me. Appreciate y'all. What up, Munaf? Bass Bros letting us know that Devin Booker will be out tonight. Boofer says I need to get paid back for stupidly taking Wizards first quarter, first half. Munaf says he first said I thought Ski moved. Yeah, I had to come back and get my stuff, man, so I get out of here. And move into my new place for next week. He says I already moved off the Magic first half and pivoted to Magic second quarter. You bet any second quarters pregame, I remember you talking about the stats every day. Absolutely. Chris says, Cool said their defense can't guard a stop sign right now. He ain't lying. Yeah, I don't trust him to stop anybody. What up, S. Warrior says, how about them Heat? They did handle business. Conc's tip likes Franz over his points. D Trip likes his PRA. See, y'all confused me with this, but here he says, here's the query for that over. And it goes back to 2013. So that's not the one. This is a little different than the one I was looking at. But let me try to type it in here. If I can get it. Bear with me. I wish I could copy and paste, but it just doesn't allow me here. So season 2013, date, previous date 3. And let me just see the rest really quick. Previous over, playoffs equals 0, and home. Gotcha. So literally, like kind of the opposite. I get what you're saying. Now it makes more sense that you guys are calling this. Total greater than previous total and home. All right, that should be it there. And it didn't populate for me. So what did I do wrong here? Previous over. Total greater than previous total. All right, one more time. I think I left out the previous over. And my bad, y'all. Forget to put my thing on Do Not Disturb. I forget it can call me on my laptop here. Bear with me, y'all. I'm pretty sure this is a good query, and I got to figure it out right here. We'll put it on the screen. Nah, it's not looking good to me, Chris. So maybe I mean, you have to show me, or maybe I got to look at it a little bit later. But I'm trying to pull it up, and it's not working for me here. If you shoot it to me on Twitter, I can pull it up in the Twitter DM. I'll pull that up right now if you can. Anthony, I appreciate you with the 4.99 dono. Dr. Philly trying to say, can you explain why the over falls in the under if you know you know? It doesn't, it's not the that's what I'm saying. We can't be calling it the same thing because it's not the if you know is an under. And that's not the see, it's starting to get confusing here. That's all. I don't call it that. It's maybe Chris is calling it that or somebody else is calling it that. But this is the query that he's saying. And I just couldn't get it to pull up right. Oh, playoffs equals 0. I think maybe that's why I was but I was missing here too. I think these are a lot of playoff results. So I'll try that. Go 0. There we go. 61% is what I'll show. So I will pull it up on the screen because I took too much time to not show it on the screen. And appreciate you with that, Chris. So screen share. You guys should be able to see this here. So going back 10 seasons, teams playing within 3 days. The total is higher than the last time that they played. And the last game went over. And it's a regular season game. It's not the playoffs. We're looking at 61 overs, 39 unders, 4 pushes, and 61% to the over. So the reason he's calling this if you know over is because it's kind of like the opposite. It's not that same within a week span, but the concept, you just kind of flipping it. The first game went over, and the bookmakers opened this one higher. So they're opening it higher for a reason. Like that's the concept of the if you know under. So to just flip it, this makes sense. So I appreciate you sharing it, Chris. And I'm in agreement. I'm liking this over. And I do have it written down on my short list already. If I didn't say already, Anthony, appreciate you for the $4.99 dono. Much love on that. Let me take a couple more looks down here. And Munaf says he is playing that second quarter pregame. He got 2.5 last game, currently -3 for the Magic in the second quarter. Interesting. Official gym class podcast. Gonna ride with friends over 23.5 again. No, Wayne, we did not. This is the first NBA game that we're talking about. What up, Mo Ahmad? Hey, you got my middle name. I don't think anybody knows that, but my name is Hakeem Ahmad. So it's always interesting when I see another one. And he said, shout me out one time. I appreciate you tuning in, brother. 100%. David says, Magic smash Wizards. Don't be scared. All favors today. I look like DJ from Hustle and Flow. I'll be looking like everybody, man. I always hear I'm looking like somebody. That over 6-0 to over this season. Last game went over by 23.5. Makes sense to open it higher here. Good stuff. Yeah, Paco, and that one did not stay under, so that one was tough. All right, a couple more comments, then we'll move over to the next game. Spend a lot of time on this game, but I think we got a bet. What up, Shaq Elliott? And then Chet says, love the show, Ski. Thanks for the content. I appreciate you, and thanks for tuning in. A lot of times you guys do like the show. A lot of times I get a lot of good comments after the show. But I was getting some negative comments yesterday on my show afterwards. And I was just like, damn, maybe they don't want me to do the show no more. But I know it's just minority of people who feel that way. And one thing I also want to say is even if people complain about, how I do the show and how it's long because I include the chat, I would never not include the chat. Like I always tell you guys at the end of the show, chat is what makes the show. It's all of us versus the bookies. Everybody has a little bit of something to bring to the table. So I love what we do with the chat here, and I appreciate y'all too. Hit the like button and says start chat. I appreciate you. Last couple comments, and I don't think we have any more for this game. And Star Child said that under in the Utah game was a dead under. Good call. Yeah, that should have been my only bet. I did a little bit too much yesterday. I had to start adding at the end. And in this part of the season, I think I need to do less of that. So Dr. Shirley says, this show is perfect the way it is. Tired of all these haters. All right, let's appreciate that and let's keep going. Next game up, we have 521, 522. Philly and Boston. Opened up Boston -6. They're now 6.5-point favorite. Total open 224. Not much movement there. We're looking at 224.5. Last thing I want to say is when I do the best bets on these show, and these best bets have been good, it's me taking all the information we've been sharing back and forth along with how I feel and just putting it together. So what we're doing works because the best bets have been cashing this season. Injury report for Boston: they will be without Porzingis. I think that's a huge deal. But at the same time, Embiid is now game time decision. What he has an illness or something like that. Springer and Batum are both probable. They'll be without Daniel House and Kelly Oubre Jr. This one is a tough game without the status of Embiid. I mean, if Embiid was in, I kind of want to bet the 76ers just because, uh, like Porzingis, without Porzingis out there, you're leaving a lot on Al Horford. And I do think Al Horford can, do a good job on Joel Embiid for a good amount of time. Like I said that even before the season when I made my Celtics picks to win the East. And you saw in that last matchup, like Horford was doing what he does all the time, turn into old Horford. And I just don't think he can do that if he's the only center they have for the entire game. So it makes me nervous to back that Celtics side. And also the Celtics team is pretty top heavy. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. If Embiid is out, I think it's more of an over game. I'm sure Philly will push the pace. And I think Boston will be comfortable with that. Boston at that point without Embiid for Philly, I think they have the advantage because you'll be relying on a lot of guard play for Philly, Maxey and Melton. And I think that's the strength of Boston's defense. Drew Holiday, Derek White, like they're really good guarding those guard positions. So it's all going to depend on if Embiid is in or out. If he's in, a little bit more towards the Sixers. They have been the better offensive team. They've been the better rebounding team. But if he's out, I mean, it's simple, but I think it flips towards the Celtics. Maybe even Celtics first quarter. But just to avoid, after all the subs come in, because I do think Philly can take advantage of the second unit. So maybe Boston first quarter is how I'm feeling a little bit more right now. If Embiid is out, Boston first quarter if he's out, Sixers full game if he's in. Let's take a look at what the chat is like in here. Um, well, also I didn't talk about the total, but or I did a little bit. If Embiid is in, or if Embiid is out, I probably can endorse an over. If he's in, I probably will stay away from the total. So we'll rock like that. Take a look at a couple of the comments. Appreciate you, Tariq. I know you guys appreciate it. The real ones appreciate it. David. Jeff Jeff Knight likes Jalen Brown on his assist. Mitch says over or nothing. And Wayne is looking for a double double for Tatum without Porzingis out there. I mean, it should be a lot of rebounds to be had. I think that's a pretty good prop. Maybe even points plus rebounds for Tatum, something like that. Bruce, he's new to my show. You give out good game breakdowns. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Glad. Thank you for watching. Appreciate the kind words. Gilbert likes Sam Hauser over 2.5 threes. Don't have a reason to talk you off. Don't have a reason to endorse it. Appreciate you, Rich Homie. Dr. Shilly, let me see. Do you think it's a big deal if a starter misses the early game day shoot around? Yes. It means they're trending more towards not playing. Otherwise, they would be there. I do. Rick White says you got in here late. Appreciate you stopping by. Kong's Clips, there you go. He says he likes Tatum on his rebound prop. I'll be interested in what number you're getting. And Jeff Knight says rebounds. He's leaning on that. Yep. Boofer says Boston first quarter is good, no matter if Embiid is out or in. Interesting. I'm going to put that on my short list just because I do feel away. Boston first quarter or Sixers full game. Definitely not both, but if Embiid is in, I'll consider the full game for Sixers. But I like that Boofer likes that first quarter. Markel says he already bet the first half for the Celtics. And Tariq says he doesn't see Embiid missing this game. Sixers plus 6.5, but waiting to be sure. Keith Green, I agree. Trying to get paid here. Mitch says Tatum, Holiday, and White all share the assist and rebounds. I have trouble getting there with any of them today. Well, I told you the ways that I would play this game. It depends a lot on the injury report, but I'm looking at a lot of different directions. I'll even also put the over here just because I will look at it if Embiid is out. I think that quickens the pace for Philly. Embiid, put it in parentheses. All right, let's keep it moving here. Next game up, we will go to 523, 524. Memphis Grizzlies heading into Dallas to take on the Mavericks. Opened up Mavs minus 9.5. Now 6.5 point favorite. Total open 230.5 down to 226. Injury report for Dallas. I'm seeing Luca out along with Dante Exum and Maxi Kleber. Hardaway is a game time decision. True toss up to play for the Grizzlies. Tillman, game time decision. They'll be without Clark, Kennard, Arabia, Morant, and Marcus Smart. Um, both teams do play tomorrow. Initially when I thought about it, I was like, I was just maybe viewing. I wasn't looking at what Memphis has been doing lately or something because numbers are not correlating with how I was feeling about this game yesterday. But neither team playing with pace. Both bottom 10 last 5 games. Memphis, the worst offensive rated team in that span, but the top 10 defensive rated team. Mavs, kind of middle of the pack offensively, bottom 10 defensive rated team last 5 games. So Memphis also the worst in the league shooting the three, although they're the worst in the league defending it. I don't know. See a slow game. Maybe they play faster without Luca, but based on how they've been playing lately, both teams playing tomorrow, probably a slow game. Trusting the defense for Memphis, at least how they've been playing lately, a little more than anything. So I can understand why you get there with the under. You are missing a lot of points without Luca. As far as the side, there's no way that I could lay 6.5 with Dallas here if I don't expect them to be like I don't view them as a team that gets that many stops. Like I would be expecting Memphis to be getting more stops here. So I'll lean Memphis. They've been the better defensive team lately. They've been the better rebounding team. Dallas is dead last the last 5 games in that category. It's Memphis or the under for me as of right now. Let's take a look at what you guys like here. I don't think I like it enough to put it on my short list though, but it's the only way I would play it. Keith Green still liking the Mavs. Tariq disagrees. He says Grizzlies plus the points or stay away. Rick White is asking about Grizzlies team total under. What do I think about that? Or what does the chat think about it? I would trust the full game under more. I think I don't want to rely just on Dallas to be playing the defense. They're not the greatest defensive team. That's my thought. So I would prefer a full game over if you were just looking to like kind of fade Memphis here. I want to include Memphis defense. Mitch looking toward D Rose assists or points plus assists when they drop. You don't care if it's not 2011. Shaquille's not scared to get to the window with that +7 on the Grizzlies. Mitch says Grant 3 pointers made was +200 before Doncic knows. Manny also thinks Memphis covers. Dr. Shirley says Kyrie over his points is the only way I can look. Can't touch the Mavs without Doncic. Daniel says taking the Grizzlies with the points. So people are liking the Grizzlies here, huh? I'm gonna just write everything down how I'm feeling just because I feel like I should. I missed out on Portland or the under, whatever you want to call it, yesterday, just because I didn't even write it on my short list when I was going through my plays at the end of the day. So I put Grizz, was it +6.5 here, and then lean towards Memphis and Dallas under 226 is the best number I see. Mitch says Kyrie got bumped to 32.5. Dev got bumped to +175 for the double double there. Joe says if Hardaway is out, he likes Memphis money line. They don't need the points. Let me just double check. Who does Dallas play tomorrow? I know both teams play tomorrow, but who does Dallas play tomorrow? Is it a game that they should really care about? By the way, Julius Randle now listed questionable. Just saw it pop up as I grabbed my phone. But let's see who Dallas plays tomorrow. They play OKC. I could definitely see that. It's a game that they care a lot more than this Memphis game. So interesting. I would only look towards the Grizzlies. I would only look towards the under as of right now, and I'll keep them both on my short list. We'll go to the next game. And it will be 525, 526, Knicks and Raptors. And we just heard injury news here. Julius Randle now listed as questionable. Line opened up Raptors -1.5. They're now 2.5 for 3-point favorite at circa three. 216.5 was the opener. Looking at 216 right now. Injury report for the Raptors, Koloko out, only Randall on injury report for the Knicks. And I do know our guy Dutch Boy dropped in earlier to let us know he's on the Raptors. He's been seeing things pretty clearly lately. Let me take a look. So for this one, the Knicks are on a back-to-back after that game versus what the Pistons yesterday, I believe it was. And Raptors are a little bit rested here. Knicks have been a better defense, better rebounding team lately, but Raptors at home. I should have looked at this before the show. But let me just take a glance. Raptors at home. I feel like they've been. That's where you want to bet on them. So Raptors at home. They're only 6-4 straight up. I don't know. I think I just trust them a little bit more than like when I look at this Raptors team. It's a lot of length there. A lot of players who are capable of playing defense, and I feel like they can keep New York at the paint. No, New York is a number 7 3-point shooting team this season, but I just feel like if you can keep them out the paint and also just them being on a back to back, I would prefer this Raptors side. Not the strongest pill on this game, but do lean a little bit towards the Raptors. Let's take a look at the chat. I know you guys can help me out when I don't feel strongly. Maybe I will by the end of the day. I see a lot of people liking the Raptors. Paco Tent sharing the query says going back to 2016 it's for the Knicks playing the Raptors, not in the playoffs. Knicks as a road dog, 1-11 straight up, 1-11 ATS. Says that the Raptors usually take advantage of them when they're a road dog. Appreciate you sharing. Let's see. Abacot says I have Randall over 4.5 assists, but if he's out, it's going to take Brunson over 5.5 assists plus money. May not be plus money anymore if you wait, but I understand it. Mitch says Barrett 30 and Trent 20 plus, what's that, plus 1,800? You're getting spicy. He put the little spicy emoji right there, the little hot pepper. Good luck on that one. I hope you hit it. Rich Homie says, I was asking a question about that one. Um, Tariq says you should change your show to 6:55 p.m. right before the game starts due to injury report. I thought about doing 2 shows a day, honestly, but it's a little bit much, It's a little bit much. But I did used to do a show. I mean, I'd be curious what you guys think about it. Idea. I used to do a show. My first show in the industry. It started at 4 p.m. and we would talk about a couple games before they tipped off. Right at that time, we'll talk about a couple games, that are still on the docket, and we would live bet the games for about an hour or so, and then we'd hop off. But that's the first show that I did in the industry. It was me and another guy, but it was a pretty successful show. So I'll be interested to see what you guys think about that. Maybe I can do it sometimes. Maybe not every day, but or we'll see. We'll see. I want to do something that everybody likes. I feel like when we come together in the morning to talk these games out, like I like doing this. I feel like that's a good idea. But I'm not against also doing the other things sometimes. Might not be able to do it every day, but sometimes. All right, let's see a couple more comments or a lot more comments. David likes Knicks first half. I would say if you like the Knicks, you should get in and get out because they are on the second of a back to back. Longer game goes on, more it favors Toronto with the rest. And also, home favorites with more rest than their opponent. They win 72.5% of the time. So even if you want to just like do it from a math perspective or however you call it, just trying to make sure it's a good bet. I mean, Raptors at -3, what is that? That's -150. -150 is 60% implied probability. And if I'm telling you that home favorites in that situation, the more rested home favorites, they win 72.5% of the time. That means there's an edge to be had. So I will write it on my list just for that reason. and we'll continue to talk it out. Put Raptors just on the money line. Um, but let's continue to talk it out. Official gym class podcast is Randall over 20 points, last 11 out of 12 games. If he plays, that could be a very good look right there. Appreciate you sharing. Jack thinks Brunson under his PRA tonight. Lit picks also looking at Randall over 4.5 assists. He's cashed 9 of the last 11 games. Sorry, excuse me. So Randall has been cashing lately. I haven't been too heavy on the props. I appreciate you guys calling these out. I'll keep an eye out on Randall and see if he plays today. What up, Jay? Says, what up, Ski? Rarely able to catch the live, but here we are today. Appreciate you tapping in. Chris says it's a lot much. What up, JT? D Trip says, like the Raptors, but it's nothing strong. Not sure if the Suns game is enough to see that. Trying to look at a couple more comments here. I know I was talking for a long time while these were coming in. Chris said it's a lot much. So yeah, it's tough, man, to do these shows. It's a lot of work that goes into it. We gotta watch the games too. I already be falling asleep sometimes because I'll be up early capping. We should see. Andrew says you should do a story time with Ski Show. RM says live betting would be good. A lot of different opinions here. A couple more on this game. Let's see. Anthony's asking if I think the total is a little bit low. Total is 216, open 216 and a half. I mean, neither team is playing with pace here. 26 last 5 games for New York, 14 for Toronto. Both teams' defense has been better than the offense. I think it's a fair total. I think it's very fair. And it's a game where New York could run out of gas as the game goes on too. I think it's fair. I wouldn't run to the window and go bet the over. I would be interested. Let me just pull up Toronto here, try to get to this question a little bit. But let's see what they've been doing lately. They've gone under their last three, 217, 218, 207. So it makes sense. That's the team I view Toronto as, that low scoring team. New York, they've been flip flopping between high scoring and low scoring games, but I don't think it's too low. I think it's right where it should be for these two teams. Shaq likes Brunson under his PRA, 35 and a half. JT likes Siakam under 7.5. Gafford under 6.5. What is that? That can't be points for Siakam. So what is that? Rick says maybe twice a week. Late show. Official gym class asking if me and J Money are beefing. Nah, I don't beef with anybody, man. I love J Money. J Money's my guy. It's just things. We'll get together at some point. No beef at all. Nothing but love for J Money. Honestly, he says Ski don't need guests. The goat is all we need. Now I like doing shows with Jay. I especially like doing shows with Jay when we disagree. And I like when we can talk about the games like when they really matter, like the playoffs. Yeah, I probably talk to him a lot. I mean, not that I don't like to talk to him during the season, but I know he has a lot going on. I know he has another, you know, deal with another company, and we don't know. He told me something over the summer, so we both don't have the most time right now, but we may have more time in the future. And I do enjoy doing the show with you guys. When I have guests on, I don't get to talk to the chat as much, but I know you guys want to hear other people too. So, and I like talking to other people too. So I'll just let me know about that. We talked about the other thing. Let me know if you guys would like different guests, or you want to continue to have some shows during the week at least where it's just us like this. Um, Itachi says divisional road dogs off a 4-game homestand are 20 and 39 ATS. Divisional road dogs. That says to fade the Knicks here. That says to back the Raptors. Another reason I like the Raptors here from Itachi. Appreciate you sharing. Says he just hopped in. See Mac liking these ideas. So the Blaze Towns fan. Oh, he says good to catch a live. Appreciate you tapping in. Only beef I got is with Munaf. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But let's keep moving. Enough on this game. And we have two more games left on the slate. EJ says we won Dutch. Dutch, he's with me every Tuesday and Thursday. He did have to miss yesterday, but he'll be back on Tuesday. Next game up, 527, 528, Spurs and Pelicans. Opened up 234.5 at the total, up to 237 as a consensus. 12.5 was the opening number. See a lot of minus 13s right now. I did see it popping up to 13.5, but looks like there was some buyback at that number. Um, Injury report. I'm pretty sure I saw Wemby out. I'm refreshing now. Yeah, Wemby out, McDermott out. Keldon Johnson is probable for the Pelicans. You have Alvarado and Trey Murphy, and both of the way. I'm sorry, Alvarado and Trey Murphy. Game time decisions. True toss up to play. Matt Ryan is more like doubtful, and Larry Nance Jr. is out. So this is a Spurs team, second of a back to back. Did play a close game yesterday versus the Hawks. Pelicans team with a little bit more rest, but on the front end of a back to back here. I feel a little bit of different ways because, for one, I don't like that the Pelicans play tomorrow when looking at this point spread. Like, I really want to get there with the Pelicans. Um, I don't like the front end of the back to back. They have covered 7 of their last 9, and clearly all the categories I care about, they've been better. Offensive rating, defensive rating, rebound percentage. When these teams play, it is usually the Pelicans who take advantage. They're 5-0 ATS, the last 5 versus Spurs, usually winning by margin. And Spurs just haven't really been covering numbers lately. 4-9 ATS the last 13. So I do lean towards the Pelicans. This is a very steep number. To cover numbers like this, I feel like you have to be good at shooting the three and defending the three. They're the best defending the three, but not the greatest shooting it. However, that could improve as early as tonight. Like, they got CJ back in the lineup. Now you have a chance to get Trey Murphy back in the lineup, and I'm pretty sure he's going to play tonight. That's going to help the spacing a hell of a lot with getting those two guys back. So I do think that can, change that dynamic. Only way I'm looking in this game is Pelicans minus. They've owned them. Is they're not on the back to back, and getting their shooters back to help out with the spacing. You're missing Wemby for the defense over there with the Spurs, and I just only could bet the Pelicans. I'll put them on my short list here. Pelicans minus 13 is the best you can get right now. I mean, I have to look that direction. And if I look at the total, well, before I look at the total, I probably can even go first half. I mean, Spurs played yesterday, Pelicans play tomorrow. I can see them like running it up and then kind of taking it a little bit easier in that second half. When I think about this Pelicans team, I know they are a good first half team. I'll get some numbers for you. They're the fourth best first half team. Spurs are 22nd. The margins are plus 5.6 compared to -3. But we can let's look at New Orleans when they're at home. At home, second best, plus 10.6 margin in the first half for the Pelicans. Spurs on the road. Let's take a look at that. The absolute worst, minus 10.3 margin. So maybe even more than the full game. We should get in and get out with the Pelicans first half. Let's see what that number is. That number is opened up -7.5. Still see -7.5 or 8s out there. I think that's pretty solid. I mean, looking at the margins, it definitely looks good. I would almost prefer that a little bit more than the full game. And then when we talk about the total, Spurs, I mean, they played 18 games this season. I do have it marked down. They've gone over 15 of their last 20. So a little bit more of an over team. They are playing with pace. Last 5 games, they're second. And the same query, or no, it's a little bit different, but it's similar to the query I talked about with the Magic. So double digit favorites on the front end of a back-to-back with their opponent unrested. 23-9-2 to the over, 71.9%. And if they're double-digit home favorite, 17-5-1 to the over. And I believe this was as far as the database goes. So that tells me I should be looking up and over in this game. However, when these teams usually play, it is more towards under 10 of the last 13 meetings. Pelicans have went under 5 of the last 6. That's a little conflicting there. And Pelicans can very well win this game with their defense. Top 10 defensive rated team in the last 5 games, number 1 team defending the 3. So it's a little bit iffy. I even thought about Pelicans team total over in this game because I don't trust the Spurs defense, but 124.5 is a little bit too steep for me. I think 124 was about the average in these queries that the home favorite was averaging. So to sum it up, before looking at the comments, I'm looking at the Pelicans either first half or full game, and I would only look at down here Pelicans, Spurs over in agreement with the market there at the 237. Let's take a look at what the comment section likes here, what the comment section has to say about it. Let me get back up. I was talking too much. I got to scroll a little bit here. Casey says, ski. What up, Casey? Be happy off that Devs win last night. All right. Daniel says Pelicans been looking strong at the crib. The first half margin at home definitely says so. Abacot says Jonas over 9.5 boards, minus 126. He's hit or miss, but he'll take the risk. Chris said, add that to the road dog is on the second level back-to-back. Raptors are in a 10-1 spot. So you guys have been talking something out in the chat. That must have been when I was still breaking it down. But I like to hear that the Raptors are in a 10-1 spot. Absolutely. Markel likes the team total over. Says Spurs bottom tier D. That's all he needs to know. Mr. Nice Guy disagreeing. He likes the under. If it's the under, it's going to be the Pelicans playing that defense. I don't see the Spurs doing it. And if it's the under, it makes me think that the Pelicans cover the game because they're scoring and holding the Spurs down. Because I don't expect the Spurs to hold anybody down. That's just my thought process. Brian is looking towards the first quarter, first half for the Pellies. Tyler likes Ingram over 22.5. Talk you off. Rick is asking about Spurs team total under. Now, let's take a look at this. I'm going to pull up Pelicans. I mean, they went under 5 of their last 6. So the easiest way for me to do this is look at the last 5 games for both of these teams. I feel like the Spurs have been scoring. But, all right, Spurs, 135, 120, 112, 102, 99. They were held down by the Clippers because Clippers been playing good defense lately. Teams they went over versus the Hawks, Nuggets. They still stayed under in that Warriors game, but maybe scored a little bit too many points for my liking. Pelicans holding opponents to their last 5 games: 114, 114, 105, 106, 112. What is the Spurs team total for today? 111.5 or 112. It would make me feel nervous. It would make me feel nervous. Utah versus Pelicans team without Clarkson, they might have had Clarkson, but without Markkinen, put up 114. I don't like that. And the Spurs have been scoring too. So I don't think I would go with Spurs team total under. Boofer says Pelicans are good first half. Spurs are second half fade. So that means the full game then, if you put them together, right? Casey's in agreement. First half of full game for the Pellies. Bond says first quarter -4. Says they're 8-3 straight up at home, plus 5.2 margin, averaging 32.2 points. And looking at their last 9, plus 5.5 margin. Spurs on the road, -4.1. Lost by 4 or more in 5 of 6 losses. So Vaughn liking that first quarter. Is it a trifecta spot here? Jamrock likes Zion points. Dave, I appreciate you sharing. We'll get to that game next. Here goes Itachi with another trend for us. Going back to last season, unrested road dogs off a home loss. 13 and 24 ATS, 35.1%, and 24, 12 and 1 to the over. Sets to back the Pels and the over. Just read it one more time. Unrested road dogs off a home loss. Simple. And it's since last season. Um, Appreciate you sharing. Vaughn also coming in with the first half. Look, I look like somebody else now. I look like CJ McCollum. I think this is just the haircut, though. As that Warrior says, Pelicans 8-2 ATS against losing teams. That's a good call out right there. And that's who I remember the Pelicans to be over the past few years. When they play lesser comp, they can take advantage. And they've covered the last 5 years first. That makes sense, right? Star Child, I have really no reason to like the first half more than the second. I guess Spurs could tire out as the game goes on. You could think that way. Maybe the Pelicans, if they're up by too much, they take their foot off the gas in the second half. So I could understand if you prefer the first half to see what it looks like as far as the number. 121. So it's shaded it a little bit more to the first half. The books think the first half should be higher scoring. Vaughn loving this Pelicans game. We got a lot of bets here. Manny says team total over in first half. Chris says he looked at the same trend on the over. He did play. He got to the window with the Pels team total over. 124 and a half. I won't mark it down, but damn, that feels steep. Team total over 124.5. Rick White says he likes that team total under, thinking that they run out of gas. I get it. Saturated. Had a bad beat last night. Hopefully today goes better. Daniel thinks the Pelicans take advantage today. RM, you see the shirt, my boy. You know what time it is. You see this red shirt on, you know what time, you know what day it is. You don't gotta ask. You know what time it is. Chris says 125 is high until you look at the Spurs giving up 128 per game on the second leg of back to back since last season and 136 per game this season. Spurs defensive rating with Wemby 117 without 124. Spurs top 5 in pace. I like it, Chris. I like it. Man, lot to like here. I don't think I trust. They do got some scorers in there still. But if I like the Pelicans to win by margin, it's not because I'm just trusting their offense. It's because I think their defense is going to step up too. So maybe I don't get there with the full game. Maybe I get there with the Pels team total and the Pels spreads, like first half full game team total, something like that. But we'll figure it out. I got them all on my short list there. Yeah, he's out. It's official. He's out. JT. Sharon with a good point. Spurs on a back to back, but they had 3 days off prior. Paco says nervous about the trifecta with the Pels because last time we did that we went 0-3. I hear you 100%. I get it. All right, last game up. We've been on here quite a while, but we're doing some good stuff with these games, capping them. This one opened up Denver minus 2.5. They're a 3-point favorite now. Total open 224. We're looking at 223.5. Injury report. Refresh here. Jamal Murray, game time decision along with Aaron Gordon. Watson also game time. For Phoenix, Bradley Beal and Booker both out. Damian Lee continues to be out here. They do have Grayson Allen in there though, back in the lineup. Both teams play tomorrow, but I do think they'll care more about this game than tomorrow. But seeing Booker out, do they really care? Phoenix has been a better offensive and defensive team. Nuggets have been a slight better rebounding team. Neither team's been playing with pace. 22nd and 30th in pace the last 5 games. This is a really tough game for me. Um, the Nuggets getting healthier, I really want to lean towards them, but something about it just makes me feel nervous with this one. I think I prefer the total. Maybe we'll go with the under. You're already missing a lot of points without Booker out there, Bill, and just kind of trusting the pace a little bit here. I know both offenses are efficient, but if they're playing that slow and missing those offensive stars, the best way I think to look. I'm pretty confident I'm not going to get to the window, but just trying to provide a little something here. If I was going to play something in Denver versus Phoenix, I think I'd go under 224. Try to do a little bit of something for every game. Let's see if the comment section likes something here, or they can point something out for Phoenix and Denver. Avatar likes Kevin Durant over 5.5 assists. What about Nurkic? I feel like Nurkic does a good job getting KD the ball. They'll probably, do a little bit of those handoffs or things of that nature. Maybe Nurkic, but not against Kevin Durant as well. Let's see. This is some kind of alternative parlay here. Zion 20 plus points, Jokic 10 plus rebounds, Jalen Brown 2 plus assists. Says it's plus 103 on DraftKings. Says he's been hitting 60%. Well, I appreciate you sharing. I absolutely appreciate you sharing. David says Nuggets not good on the road, but Denver better with 2 points. And Blaze Towns fan says he's a big Nuggets fan. Murray rode his ankle pretty bad his first game back, so thinking he might not be out there. Rick White reminding everybody, you see this red shirt, you know what time it is. Appreciate you, Rick White. Daniel says Durant going for 35 plus tonight, especially on prime time without Booker. Markel's leaning Joker, points plus rebounds. Mitch thinking more towards Joker threes. I talked about the total. I was leaning a little bit more towards the other direction, Rick. Showtime says playoff revenge for the Suns. I mean, no Booker. I'm just not seeing like that they really cared that much about this game. Usually I do like to look at that at least a little bit, but just not feeling that strong about that angle in this game here. Um, and that is it. So we got through every NBA game for today. Even touched a little bit on that Houston Xavier game. And we got one more query coming in here, but it's almost time for best bets. And Shaq says he likes the over if Aaron Gordon sits. That definitely would mean less defense. Itachi says this one he got from last year, but a little bit altered. Conference road faves on the first leg of a road back to back are 25 and 11 to the under, 30.6%. That would be for this game between the Suns and the Nuggets. Appreciate you sharing there. So, Manny coming in with Katie's points. So, it's about that time. I'm gonna just take a look over. I know we like to have NBA best bets, but I haven't placed an NBA wager yet. There are some I like here, maybe some a little bit more than others. But here's what I'll do. I'll give two best bets for today. We'll do it like that. Process of elimination for NBA, at least which one I like the best right now. So Orlando and Washington over, definitely on the list. That Boston game we're leaving alone until we get the injury report. Grizzlies game could potentially get there, but absolutely not best bet. Raptors seem like best bet worthy material. Pelicans seem like best bet worthy material. Just which direction will we go? So, with that said, I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to force. I just named off what I think are my top ones. That Pelicans game, like a lot of different ways. Raptors game and the Magic Washington over. But I'm gonna take my time. I have an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more, before my next show with Wager Talk to figure out the NBA. I'm gonna go with if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're 6-1 so far, ATS in the first half this season. We're going with the Cougars. Houston Cougars, college basketball, going up against Xavier. That would be the best bet for the show today. I know I said 2 best bets, but I really don't want to force to give you guys anything. The best bets have been good on the show. Let's keep them this way. And also, I do got to throw it out there. My promo is working way to top. You guys all know that. If you want every bet that I release, when I release it, that's where you can find it. Look, Boofer was gonna hype me up too. Say double best bet, double like. But JT says 300 in the chat. Hit that like button. It's free. Much appreciated if you guys enjoyed the show. Like I always say, this show is absolutely nothing without the chat. You guys make the show what it is. And I always want to let you guys know I appreciate you 100%. Boofer says, oops, only one like. Only one like people. No double, please. But best of luck if you tell everybody. Good luck on all your action. And I will catch you guys again next week. Peace.